Hey guys, welcome back to J. Marie Art. Today I decided to do another puzzle again, and I have attempted this puzzle before, and I tried it in the classic way of trying the edges first, but soon after 2 hours I gave up. So here is my attempt number 2. In the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a bag of pieces. That's the first attempt. I had managed to separate all of the edge pieces from the rest of the puzzle, and so I bagged those up, and that was like 6 to 9 months ago. And so this time I decided to attempt the puzzle by going and looking for the obvious pictures first, like the big blue Cinderella dress or the character faces. And so I went through every single piece of this puzzle, which is 2,000 pieces, and began to pull out items that were already either put together or easily identifiable characters. Once I did that, I began to put the characters into place and piecing them together. This was a very long and tedious process, as I had to continue to retouch tons of pieces over and over again, but I managed to start getting some kind of direction. Now, this puzzle took me probably 6 days, and each time I sat down for about 2 to 3 hours. Angela joined me in helping me with some of these pieces, but this puzzle probably took about 20 to 25 hours to put together. So far, my longest puzzle yet. Once I went through most of the pieces I had set aside in the initial sorting process, I began to pull pieces out of the box as I went along and just started sorting them just based on color and layout. And so you'll see me here just start throwing pieces together and putting them in piles around the puzzle. And that was a strategy just to try and get majority of pieces where they're supposed to go. And then I would rotate the puzzle and then put them together and then go through the sorting process again. So this puzzle was truly a beast to put together. Just to give you guys an idea of the size of this puzzle, I could not find a tabletop in my house that was big enough for this puzzle. So I went out to my studio and I looked for the biggest canvas I had, and this was the biggest canvas that I had. And luckily, it was a canvas I was not too fond of. I've painted over this picture several times. And so I decided, let me just spray paint it, give it one color background, and I'll use this as a tabletop for the puzzle. In this process, I definitely found out I am not a graffiti artist. I should probably just stick to acrylics and regular paintbrushes, but it was fun nonetheless. After it dried the first time, I went out and gave a second coat where I felt that it needed to be filled in at, and then I laid it out in the sun to dry. So while that was drying, I played with Daisy a little bit in our yard. For those of you that are looking at her ribs, just to let you guys know, we closely monitor her weight with the vet. The vet is actually very happy with her body weight right now. And so we free feed her throughout the day. She can eat as much as she wants whenever she wants. We never hold food back from her. We got her when she was very malnourished. And so because she was malnourished in her main growth years, it stunted her growth as a Great Dane. And so now she is just a small Great Dane. However, the ribs and the backbones always concern us, and so every time we take her to the vet always looks her over and gives us their stamp of approval. And so, you know, that's just one of the things that happens when you deal with rescues. After it was dry, I went out to go check on it, and I actually ran my fingers across the top, and of course, you know, they came back with silver dust. So I decided to brush it off and clean it off so that there would be no dust when I brought it back in the house. This next part it took me about 5 to 6 hours of just a single sitting. While it doesn't look like it was 5 to 6 hours, it ended up being from about 9 o'clock to about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It was a beast to put together. I got it to a point to where I just didn't want to stop on it because it was so close to being done. And then I got to my edges, and then I just had to stop. So this last part was a pretty big marathon. So here's the last part of this particular puzzle. This part took about 2 hours with me and Angela working on it consistently, just because all of the edges looked the same. And there were 3 layers of puzzle pieces that made up the edge of this puzzle. The edge of this puzzle is a frame, and that's why it took so long the first attempt to do the edges. I never even got the edges completed on the first attempt. So this particular process was very tedious and very, very time consuming, but well worth it in the end. Want to see more? Subscribe here to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications so you are notified every time I drop a video. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest updates and paintings. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.